Hello everybody and welcome back. It has been a little while and we are going to celebrate our progress through this series by having a little party. Our first quest of the day is Monk's Friend. This quest starts at the monastery just south of Ardougne, where we speak to Brother Omad. Brother Omad tells us that he really wants to get a good night's sleep, but he just cannot. One of the children at the monastery has been crying incessantly ever since their blanket was stolen by some thieves. He lets us know that the thieves have set up base in a secret cave hidden under a ring of stones to the west of the monastery. We can't possibly let this child stay sad, so we head to the west and steal this blanket back from the thieves. With that in hand, we return to Brother Omad, who is so thankful. However, he's not quite out of the woods yet. He wants to throw a party for this same child because it's their birthday. However, no party is complete without an obscene amount of liquor. Brother Cedric had gone to get some liquor, but he has not yet returned, and Oman does not know why. He wants us to go find out where Cedric is, and if he's drunk as all get out, sober him up and get him home. We head to the north and find Cedric just to the south of the Ardougne Zoo, drunk out of his mind. We give him some water to sober him up. I don't know if we pour it on his face or if he drinks it. Frankly, I don't really care. And now that he's sober, he needs a log to fix his cart. We happen to have one of those in our inventory, so we give it to him. He fixes his cart, and we head back to Brother Omad to let him know that Brother Cedric is coming very soon. Omad is extremely excited about this, and it's time to party. Our rewards for this quest is 1 quest point, 2,000 woodcutting experience, and 8 law runes. Alright, stick with me. This one's gonna be really fast. Our next quest, Clock Tower. First things first, we grab the blue cog. We put the blue cog on the blue peg. Then we grab the black cog. We put the black cog on the black peg. Then we get the red cog, we put that on the red peg, and then we get the white cog, and we put that on the white peg. And now, the clock tower works. Sick. For that, we get 1 quest point and 500 coins. Get me the hell out of here. Oh, wow. I don't know what happened there. Just had flashbacks. 2002. Well, anyways, now that we're done running around at the speed of sound, our next quest of the day is the Zeal Cult, which takes us just to the south of Ardougne, where we speak to Cyril Cerillion, head of the Cerillion household. Now, Cyril, like everyone else in this godforsaken land, has a problem. His problem, however, is that he is being harassed by a cult. Bunch of black-robed, crazy weirdos off in the woods, making weird noises and trying to steal his stuff. Very recently, they actually did steal something from him, a suit of armor that belonged to his family. Understandably, he's not excited about this, and he wants us to find the armor and punish the cult that is doing this. So we head to the south, into a small cave, and pick a fight with a man named Clivet. Clivet appears to be a part of the Zeal cult, and he asks us to stop for a moment and consider that what we've been told may be false. Now, I'm always intrigued by a little bit of evil, and we're going to take Clivet's side on this and side with the Haziel cult. Our goal now is to revive Haziel. Our first step is that we need to kill a family member of the Cornelian family. This should be relatively easy. There are tons of them in there. So we grab some poison from the cellar and use that poison on the cooking range. Once we talk to Cyril again, we learn that the family dog, Scruffy, is dead. When we return to Clivet, he tells us that we're ready for the next part of the ritual. He gives us a Haziel mark and tells us that we have to head to the cult hideout. We can't do that yet because the waterway is not quite set up correctly. We need to turn a bunch of valves to redirect the waterway to get us to the cult's hideout. With that done, we head back into the cave, ride the raft, and speak to Alimone, who lets us know that they have an inside man in the Cornelian household. The butler, Jones, is a spy for the Haziel cult, and he's been helping the cult find an enchantment that is hidden in the Cornelian home. This enchantment will allow them to complete the revival of Haziel, so obviously we need to find it. We head back to the Cornelian home and rummage through some of their belongings until we finally found a golden key. We take that golden key up into a hidden crawl space just behind Butler Jones's room, unlock a chest, and inside we find the Haziel scroll. Returning this to Alimony allows us to revive Haziel and complete the quest for his side. Haziel praises us greatly for our efforts in reviving him and promises us a place in his cult forever.
Smoke!
By completing this quest, we are granted 1 quest point, 1,500 thieving experience, and 2,000 coins. Our next quest of the day is the worst thing I have ever had to do in RuneScape. Sheep Herder begins by speaking to Counselor Halgrave in East Ardougne. He lets us know that some of the sheep at a farm to the north have become infected with the plague and must be put down. Now, he doesn't want us just murdering these sheep, so he gives us some poisoned sheep feed and instructs us to incinerate them at an incinerator just to the north of Ardougne. However, we do need a plague suit before we can do that. Dr. Orban, just nearby in the monastery, sells us one for 100 coins, and then we head to the north to go do a little bit of sheep herding. Please go this direction. Why are you going back? I spilled coffee on myself. Oh my god. Oh, thank God. Take all of their bones and put them in the incinerator.
I can't believe you've done this.
And return to Counselor Halgrave, who will give us our quest reward. We are rewarded with 4 quest points and 3,100 coins. It was not worth the effort. I missed it, but there it is. 1 million total experience on the account. My inventory is a clusterfuck. Please pay no attention to the shenanigans I'm doing. I'm farming right now, so I've been pickpocketing master guard farmers and such. But yeah, there it is. You can see our stats have increased quite a lot. We did a lot of wood cutting and fire making, something we're going to have to do eventually. We're up to 45 thieving. Our farming is now 20. We're making progress. And that is 1 million on the account. That is exciting. Okay, so I want to go try some stuff in RuneScape. As I've established at the beginning of this series, I don't know all that much about RuneScape. I'm a noob walking in the footsteps of giants, people who've come before me and established different methods to work their way through the game. I don't want to sit purely inside those boxes, however, there are so many things I haven't experienced yet, and PvP in RuneScape is one of them. We're at Last Man Standing right now because I want to try PvP, but I also want to garner some advantages when we do this. Last Man Standing's shop has a couple things in it that we would really love to have going forward. First things first, it has a rune bag. It costs 75 points, which means I need to kill at least 75 people, more or less, in Last Man Standing. This is a tall ask. The second thing it sells is rune arrows. The shop here sells 300 of them for 3 points. That's a really good way to get rune arrows. That being said, I have never PvP'd before, and I did watch some tutorials and videos going into this. Hopefully it's not as terrible as I expected to be, but here we go. Oh, there are people worse than me. Oh, come on. Why are you standing underneath me? Aha! Success!
Oh, fuck.
didn't trade. I killed him the same tick he killed me. What the f***? I didn't think that could happen. Pain. Well, that was certainly an experience, and a humbling one at that. I don't think there was enough videos or training material in the world that I could have watched or read to make me prepared for just how fried I was going to be in the moment. First few games, I didn't even have my F keys set up. After that, I was starting to get a couple kills here and there, but still it was just difficult. I didn't know how to properly walk under. I wasn't really good at getting DDS specs in. And I don't know what half of this gear is. I've never seen it before. That being said, I did have a little bit of fun. We did not get a rune bag, and I do not have the tolerance to keep doing this. But I'm glad I've experienced it, and I can say, yeah, I've played a little Last Man Standing. And there's level 50 fletching. So I have been just kind of grinding for a while. I've been really enjoying just playing RuneScape, just existing in the universe. And it's been nice. I haven't really been doing any combat training, but we have done a lot of farming, woodcutting, fishing, and cooking. So we're up to 60 cooking, 60 fishing, 61 woodcutting, 50 fletching, and 56 fire making because I just needed something to do with the wood that I was cutting. Our next quest of the day keeps us inside Ardougne. We're going to speak with Edmund, who lives in the northwest part of East Ardougne. And he lets us know that he has a bit of a problem. His daughter, Elena, has been gone for quite a while. She's a researcher doing research on the plague affecting West Ardougne, and she went over there sometime in the past and just never came back. We offered to help because, of course we do, that's kind of our job.
True, and
Edmund lets us know to talk to his wife, Elrena, who can make us a gas mask. Talking to Elrena, she tells us that she can do that, but she needs some dwellberries. Those will protect us from the plague when we're walking around West Ardougne. Thankfully, we have some of those in our pocket that we had procured earlier at MacGruber's Woods, and she gives us our gas mask. We're also going to snag a picture of Elena from the kitchen counter because we need a way to identify her when we get into West Ardougne. Obviously, we've never met this woman. Our next step is to actually get there. Edmund tells us that he plans to dig under the wall to get under West Ardougne, but the ground's not soft enough and he can't get through it himself. Thankfully for us, we brought a whole bunch of buckets of water and we're going to dump those on the ground. And now that the ground is soft and malleable, we'll shove a shovel in it and fall through the ground into the sewers. Love when that happens. Just great. Edmund followed us down though, and he helps us pull off a grate for a pipe that will get us into West Ardougne. Climbing through that pipe, we pop out in the center of West Ardougne, and now we have to find Elena. We show Elena's picture to a man named Jethic. Jethic lets us know that Elena had been staying with the Renaissance, a family who live in the north part of West Ardougne. He also gives us a book to return to the Renaissance, because apparently he can't walk that far. But when we knock on the Renaissance door and tell them that we have a book to return, they let us in and talk to us about Elena. They let us know that Elena was last saw by their daughter, Millie Renison, who lives in the second part of the house. Millie tells us that she saw some terrible men take Elena into a house on the south side of West Ardougne. She points out that it's marked with a big black X, so it should be pretty easy to find. As expected, the house sticks out like a sore thumb, but when we try to go inside, the mourners tell us we can't go in. This house has been condemned because of the plague, and it's their jurisdiction. Well, we won't settle for that, so we're gonna go back and talk to the clerk and let him know that someone's been kidnapped. We need to get inside this building. He tells us that there's nothing he can do, but he will let us see Bravik. Now, Bravik is in control of West Ardougne right now to some degree. However, he's also incredibly hungover. He gives us a scruffy note that tells us how to make a hangover cure that somebody used to make for him. And we do a little alchemy, mixing some chocolate dust into milk and then snape grass into that, and give him back his hangover cure. Now that his mind is free from the consequences of his last night's actions, Bravik gives us a warrant to search the house. We bring this back to the mourners, who are very confused, but they're not paying enough attention to stop us from walking in the door. A little bit of rummaging around reveals a key, And downstairs we find Elena locked in a cell. We unlock the cell, talk to Elena, she escapes, and then we return to Edmund to finish our quest. Our quest reward is 1 quest point, 2,425 mining experience, and an Ardougne teleport scroll. This will allow us to actually teleport to Ardougne once we use it. It's a level 51 teleport that we didn't have access to before, but now we can get here even faster. Directly following the events of Plague City is the quest Biohazard, which we start by speaking to Elena, who we just rescued, in East Ardougne. She lives just across the street from her parents because, of course she does, the dependent millennial. Elena has been researching the plague in the west part of Ardougne. However, when she was kidnapped, the mourners confiscated all of her research materials. Now, obviously that's not okay, and we need to get them back for her. We start out by speaking to Jericho, who lends us some bird feed and a pigeon. We're going to use this to create a distraction by throwing the bird feed onto the watchtower that they use to monitor the entrance to West Ardougne. Once we do that, we release our pigeon, who attracts a whole bunch of other pigeons, and the watchtower will be rendered completely useless. With that done, we head to the south and talk to Omar, who tosses a ladder over the wall and gets us into West Ardougne. Our next objective is to get into Mourner HQ and steal back what they took from Elena. Obviously, they're not just going to let us in, so we're going to do a little bit of sabotage. We sneak through a hole in the fence in the back of the Mourner HQ, pick up a rotten apple, and poison their lunch. We head to Nurse Sarah's house to catch a quick breaking and entering charge to get ourselves a medical gown. And then we head back to the Mourner headquarters, who lets us inside. On top of the Mourner HQ, there's a locked storage area where they keep all of the things they've stolen from nice people like Elena. We beat the crap out of the guard outside, take his key, and search through the crates until we find Elena's distillator. We hop back over the fence, take this back to Elena, and she does her experiments. She does have some concerns though. She's not finding any indication of the plague. She wants to outsource some help from an old friend named Gielinor, who lives in Varrock. However, we're not going to be able to get the samples to him that easily. She tells us to go talk to the chemist in Remington, who can help us A, get some touch paper, and B, smuggle these materials into Varrock. The chemist gives us some touch paper and tells us that his 3 friends outside can help us get these materials into Varrock. However, each of them has their own vice, and we need to make sure we don't give them something that they could possibly sell or use to fulfill their own needs. So, we talk to Da Vinci and we give him the Athenia. We talk to Chansey and we give him the liquid honey. And we talk to Hops and give him the sulfuric bromine. None of these people can use any of these for what they want, so they happily oblige us. We head to the southeastern part of Varrock, go through the gate after being searched, and talk to all of our new friends in the Dancing Donkey Inn. They give us back the materials they smuggled in, and now we just need to get to Gielinor. Trying to get into Gielinor's house, we find out that his wife does not want anyone seeing him except for a priest. We are definitely not one of those, but we are carrying a priest's outfit. We put it on directly in front of the wife, talk to her again, and she lets us into Gielinor's room. Apparently she forgot who we are in the span of 3 seconds. Now, Gielinor is a master chemist. We give him all of the materials that Elena sent us with, and he runs his own set of experiments, coming to the same conclusion that Elena did. There is no plague. Obviously, this is a massive revelation. Ardougne has been split in 2 for years. And for what? We don't know yet, but we do know who can tell us. We head back to East Ardougne and talk to King Lathis. We accused him of lying and saying that there's been a false plague and segregating the city for no reason. When he asked us how we could possibly know that, we just let him know that we ran some samples through with Gielinor and the king crumples. He tells us truthfully, the reason that West Ardougne is quarantined is because of his brother, King Tyrus. King Tyrus entered the underground pass and drank from the Chalice of Eternity. after he did that, he became corrupted by the Dark Lord and became a malicious, threatening entity towards East Ardougne. In order to protect the city, King Lathis built a wall, the only thing he could think to do. If that wall ever falls, so does Gielinor. With that, we complete our quest, granting us 3 quest points, 1,250 thieving experience, full access to West Ardougne, and access to the combat training camp. We're going to complete the underground pass next, but we're not strong enough to do that yet. It's time to get a lot stronger.